Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is DK Jonah, and I am starting what I've called the DIY branding series. Now, with DIY branding, the first thing we are looking at is content creation because we feel that so many people do not post online because they feel people do not need to hear them. So, today I'll be sharing smart content creation tips that you could start doing right away to get yourself started on social media, especially Instagram, because we'll be talking about your 9 grid and the importance of the post that you put on Instagram. So we will talk about the ways we could see you become more visible and showcase what you do on social media. So today's topic is part of the content creation series, and it is called Smart Content Creation Tips. Now, I'll be sharing smart content creation tips for everyone that you could apply daily. So even if you're a virtual assistant, you are a social media influencer, you have a business, you have a brand, even if you have nothing, these smart content creation tips will help you start creating content and creating visibility for your brand. So let's get started. What are we going to look at? Well, we'll look at what is content. Yes, because we're posting content. Reasons people do not post. What makes your content stand out? And I'll be giving you a 9 grid prompt. Now, this series will hold for the whole of August. And thank you so much for joining me, Zoe. This series will hold for the whole of August, and it's going to be on Saturdays by 4 p.m. except the 15th. I said Zoe and Siri was responding. Sorry about that. And it's going to be for 4 p.m. apart from the 15th when it's going to be at a different time, and I will announce the time. For now, let's start with what makes your content stand out, reasons people do not post, and what is content. Now, content is anything you post online. It could be your blog post, it could be your social media post, it could be anything that you post online. Simple. Don't make it complex. Don't think that, oh, content is limited to just your Facebook or your Instagram post. Content is much more than that. Now, if you have any questions, I would like us to participate. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you could share the reasons why you struggle with posting online, that would be great. And I'll be able to answer and give you feedback on ways you can promote or post your content visibly. And so you put your questions with question and then the question you have to ask. And if it's a comment and you're adding something to what I'm saying, then you could just write comments and then your comment regarding what is being said. Now, I have a few objectives for today. My major objective is this: I want to simplify content creation. I want you to understand that content is quite easy. You can create content where you are now. You do not need to start copying other people's pages or thinking of reinventing the wheel. Whatever you need to create is in you. So today we're just going to encourage you to start posting, make you understand that whatever you need to post, look within. And everyone has something worth sharing. Like, I started talking about something I was passionate about, and we'll get to that. But if you're about to start sharing content, do you know where to start? Where can you start from? I also want to make you understand that you have something worth sharing and give you content to start sharing today. So even if this week is just an introductory week where we're going to be talking about content and the types of content and the impact content has, we are basically going to start posting from today. So at the end of today, I'm going to give you what I've called facts and tasks. Facts are facts about content that you should know, especially when it comes to you creating content. So we're going to have facts. Then the task is the task for the week. What I want you to do every week. So I want you to show up every day from tomorrow. We will practice what you're going to post. You have 9 things you could post on. So you're going to post from now till Saturday and tag me on all your posts. I'll be watching. Also, share your Instagram handle in the description bar. I mean, in the comment section, so that we can all follow each other and support each other. So, like I said, I want you to understand you have something worth sharing. Two objectives: make content creation as simple as possible. And the second objective is simply to get you to get started. Start where you are. Now, let's continue. Okay, so I asked a question and I want to hear from you before I share. So please, I would like you to participate by writing your response to this question. What is the reason you are not posting consistently on social media? I want to talk about some common reasons people have given, but I would like to hear from you. So, Zoe and everyone listening, can you tell me reasons you believe? It may not be you specifically, it may be what you believe people struggle with. What are the struggles that people have when it comes to content creation? One major struggle people have will be dependent on the individual. Some people struggle with design, some people struggle with content ideas. But let's make this as interactive as possible. Why do you think people struggle with content creation? I know there's like a 10-second delay, so I'm going to give it a couple of seconds before I go to the reasons that have been shared here. But share your reason because this is a live class, it's interactive, it's something that if we all participate, we'll get the best out of it. So tell me, why do people struggle to post content? Hi, Olabisi. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, so I was asking earlier, why do people struggle to post content? Can you share reasons why you believe you've struggled in the past? You may have overcome the reason that you did not post before, or you're still struggling with, so we could have a conversation and find a way out of that problem. Because if we don't identify the people's struggles we have with something, we can't find a solution. We're providing content creation solutions for people, for everyday people, to ensure you are posting consistently. Okay. Olabisi said clarity of message. Yes, clarity of message is one thing people struggle with. The reason when she says clarity of message, I think I struggled with it before. I struggled with posting because I wasn't sure what I wanted to say. I was thinking, oh, do I really understand my message? If I don't understand it, why would people want to listen to me? There are other reasons people give for not posting consistently online. But one reason is clarity of message. Another reason that someone gave me was I don't know how to design graphics. That's a genuine reason not to post, not knowing how to design graphics. But clarity comes before design. So once you have clarity of message, it's easier for you to think about ways you can design it. So clarity comes first before we go to design. All right, my fan is on. Weather is so hot here in London, but we're going to continue the conversation. Overthinking, I totally agree. Overthinking, I think people suffer from information overload. There is so much information out there and people do not know what to do with the information, so they tend to overthink and underthink. Sometimes you tend to overproduce and give so much information that you forget that you're speaking to specific people, and if you don't know who you're speaking to, you do not know what to produce for that person. But we'll get to your audience later. But thank you so much, Olabisi, for your contribution. um okay. A couple of reasons people do not post. One is people say I don't know what to post, and that's a very 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 common trend, because I did a survey on Instagram stories, because you have to use all the features of the app, and I asked people what their struggles were, and I picked up just six or so. And the first one was I don't know what to post. You don't have clarity of message, you're overthinking, you don't know what to post. And yes, Zoe said majority of people want to put up the best message or nothing at all. That's a major reason why people don't post. They just feel, oh, if my message is not good enough, I'm not putting it anywhere. And that's perfectionism. So perfectionism also makes you undecided about what to post. Now, if you do not know what to post, what I always recommend is post what you know or are interested in. For example, when I started blogging in 2016, when I was going to start in 2011 and eventually started in 2016, I started talking about being a Christian, because that's something that you could wake me up in the morning and I will talk about with ease. So I started talking about what I knew first. And if I didn't start talking about that, I won't have known much more. I won't have started expressing myself. I want to understand the way I think, the way I talk. So starting from where you know is important. When you're even looking at clarity of message, think about what you know already. Even if you don't have the full picture, Gary Vee talks about something. It says we should document instead of create. Most of us want to create the perfect message already instead of starting small and growing gradually. So most people will say, I don't know what to post, so I would rather not post. This isn't a good strategy to use. Post what you know. Start with a topic that you can talk about with ease. If I ask you, Zoe and Olabisi, what are topics that you are confident talking about that nobody knows? It may be topics that you feel that, if they just tap me like this, I can just start talking on it. That's where you should start if you do not know where to start from. Start from the known before you go into the unknown territory. The thing about starting with the known is confidence. Confidence builds competence. And this is what Shola Alabi always says. Once you talk about something you are confident in, it builds competence in you to start talking about other areas you're researching in. It could be a topic that you are interested in researching. Oh, this is why I think people need to talk about sustainable development. This is why I think people need to think about the environment. This is why I think people need to study the Bible. Because that's what I started with. Why should we study the Bible? It was a simple thing. Okay, why are we studying the Bible as Christians? That's how I started. Start from what you know. And another thing someone else told me is someone else is already doing it. Yes, someone else is already doing it. Someone else has written a book on vampires. Someone else has written a book on water. Somebody else has written a cartoon. Disney has their theme park. Top Park has a theme park. There's nothing new under the sun. But nobody has done it the way you would do it. Start from what you already know and don't think about the fact that someone else is doing it. What I always say is get inspiration from others, learn from their successes and learn from their failures. That's why I recommend reading books. In books, you can learn what people have done and practice what they have done without necessarily um failing. So if you know where they failed, if they are transparent enough to show you where they failed, the mistakes they made in investments or something, it gives you the opportunity to prevent yourself from making those mistakes. So look at what other people are doing. Do not copy and paste. Put your unique twist to it just to get inspiration. A book I would recommend is Still Like an Artist. And the writer said that when people are taking inspiration from others, your job is to still, but like an artist. Don't go and copy everything they've done, but just get inspiration and see what you can get done from there. What other major thing people say is no one is listening to me. I post, I get only 2 likes. I post, I get 1 like. Nobody pays attention to what I am saying, so I am going to stop. Please, please, please do not stop. Rather, keep on doing what you're doing and do it to the best of your ability. Keep improving, start, continue, be consistent. Do not stop halfway because, oh, no one pays attention to what I am saying. When I decided to move this to a new platform, to a YouTube channel that I had no subscribers on, the first thing I was telling myself was, because I'm telling you from my experience, who is going to pay attention to this? But I was like, I already have a platform I am on, Instagram. Bringing it on this platform gives me an opportunity to reach more people, and it's a risk I am willing to take. We should be willing to take risks. For example, Nene, one of my friends, I asked her a question yesterday. I said, how did you get featured in Forbes? Because she got featured in Forbes. And she said they searched for her. She had a blog where she was writing about coin collections and postcard collections. She wrote about a couple of other things, but she shared an interest that many people were not interested in. And when Forbes went looking for someone that was interested in that, they came across our blog post. You have no idea how the content you are creating can reach one person that it needs to reach. It doesn't need to reach every single person, it just needs to get to the right person. So continue posting, continue doing something great every day. Put your best foot out. If you're an MC like Zoe, put tips that you use to ensure that your bride is comfortable, the groom is comfortable, the elders are respected, because you understand. And then a bride that is looking for an MC that respects authority, respects the children, bridges the gap between the young and the old, will bring you forward. If you do not share your experience, if you do not share your values, if you do not share what you're passionate about, it will stay in you. And we want to go away with from this session knowing that there's something unique in everyone that could help them create great content. Another thing that many people struggle with is they say, I do not have the experience required to talk to people. I'm a newbie in this field. No one is going to listen to me. Everyone's audience is different. Most of the big YouTubers that we watch now, like PewDiePie, started off with zero and they've grown to 1 million subscribers. That is it. You have to start small. Do not be afraid of small beginnings. Do not be afraid to start small. Do not say, oh, if I do it this small, who is going to see it? I do not have the required skills. I do not have the number of people listening to me. Do not be afraid to grow slow. Grow slow. Slow and steady wins the race. You don't want to create only content that you believe will go viral. Create content that your audience will love. I'm not going to start, normally I start with, oh, this is the type of content you should create, but I felt that today we should talk about the mindset of content creation. What type of mindset should you have when you are creating content? That's the focus of this study. That's the focus of this session, and I'll tell you what we're going to expect from the other sessions. Now, this is a very, very, very important one. People say, I do not want to expose myself. I am very private. I don't want anybody to know much about me. I want to keep my family safe. Or because if you think about the statistics with reality TV and even with YouTube couples, there's an increase in divorce rate of YouTube couples. So many people want to protect their privacy, protect their loved ones, protect their interest. Yes, be security conscious, be family conscious, show only what you believe they need to know. For example, Gary Vee does, I know I'll mention him a couple of times, he does videos almost every day, but you know nothing about his family because he has decided and he has drawn the line about what he is going to share. I'm going to share content creation tips that will improve people's mindset. I'm going to share tips that will make people more productive, and he has stuck to it because that's something he's passionate about. Yes, he's passionate about his family. However, he has decided that I will keep my family separate. The good thing about social media is this: you are doing it on your own terms, no one else's terms. You determine what goes out, you determine what is produced. So if you do not want people coming out to see you completely, then you don't need to share everything. Share what you need people to know. It's on a need to know basis. Remember that. What do they need to know? That's what I will share. Some people do not know much about my private life, or I share consistently. So you can do that. Call the shots. You don't need to share every aspect of your life. You just need to give people a sneak peek into what matters so that they understand that you're human. You can share your struggles, you can share your pain, you can share your victory. But the content creation mindset should realize that there are limits to what you can share. For example, I always say, be careful taking a picture in front of your house all the time because you don't know who is going to track you down. Because we have to be security cautious. Not all of us have the ability to hire bodyguards and hire a full security system. Most of the environments we live in are not that security conscious. So we need to take on the responsibility of protecting those in our lives. So while you are sharing content and I'm asking you to share your life and be authentic, be security conscious. Be conscious of the stories you share about others, even if you were directly influenced by that story, because you could influence other people negatively. Think before you post. That's one thing I would just say. Think before you post. Do not overexpose yourself. Think before you post and post on your own terms. Don't let people dictate what you post. If you've decided, I do not want to show certain parts of my life, don't. If you know that there's a train station close to my house and if I keep taking pictures in front of this station, people will know this is where I live, don't. If you know you want to protect where you live, protect it. That means even if you would like to take a picture in church, you may not necessarily do that because you know, oh, if somebody knows where I am every Sunday, it's easier for someone to find me when I want to spend private time with my family. Remember, social media is just one part of your life. It's not your whole life. Choose the part you want to share and share it. No one cares. That's another reason. If if you've not tried to connect with them, why should they care? Make them care. Be authentic. Be yourself, and you will connect with your audience. The thing is about uh, I talk about branding and content creation being audience brand connection. How do you build a connection with people if you are not connecting with them one way or the other? You are engaging with them, you're reaching out to them, you are sharing your life in an authentic way while being security conscious and not exposing yourself. So these are the few reasons that people do not post online. Okay, now that I've mentioned these reasons, let's get some comments from you. I think BC said majority of people feel that it doesn't need to reach everyone, it just needs to reach one person. Yes, that's true. Joe said keep at it, which is completely true. Keep at it, do not stop. Keep at it. Be consistent. Consistency is the key. I always talk about my friend Rosemary, Imiabi Rose. She has a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to her. But she's the most consistent person I have ever seen when it comes to creating content. She works full time. She has a ministry, she has a YouTube channel, she has a business, she serves in church, and she shows up on all these things consistently. It takes you understanding time management. Plan your time, and to be a lot easier for you to create content. Do we have any questions or contributions to the reasons why people do not post? Okay. Now, we've talked about reasons people do not post. But now let's see, when you're sharing content, what are you sharing? I've just tried to simplify it in this document to make it as easy as possible. And I said, what makes your design stand out? If you're scrolling through an Instagram page, what makes you stop scrolling and pay attention to what the person is saying? What catches your attention first? For people, it's different things, but if you could share what catches my attention first, that would be great. All right, no question for now. Awesome. What catches your attention first when it comes to content? For everyone, it's different. Some people look at your grid on Instagram to see how your feed looks. Some people look at different things to pay attention to you. Some people look at your profile picture. But one thing that does capture people's attention is design. Design makes people stop scrolling and pay attention to what you are saying. You want a situation where your design is good enough to attract the attention that you need. You don't need to be a Photoshop expert. Thank goodness for the for platforms like Canva. That's what I use to design this, and it makes life easier. You can use PowerPoint, you can use Canva, you can use anything. Whatever you're using, just ensure that you are consistent with your brand design. So your design makes people stop, but what makes your content stand out and makes people stay is the value that you give. You could have a page that is so beautiful and there is no value. It doesn't keep people's attention. They could just take a screenshot of your picture, look at your pictures, and then they go. But then the value you give makes them stay. So stop them with your design, keep them with your value. Design makes them stop, value makes them stay. We want a situation where people stay on our page and interact with us. Another thing that makes people stop and stay is the clarity of message. And that's something BC mentioned. She said sometimes people do not post because they do not have clarity. Now, brand clarity, content clarity is about understanding who you are and what you stand for as a brand. Understanding what your content is doing out there. If you do not have brand clarity, you're going to appear confused when it comes to your page. Today you're talking about A, tomorrow you're talking about B. People will not know who you are and what you stand for. And also, if you do not tell people what you do, they will never know. So a couple of years ago or so, I think it was last year or so, I had a conversation with a photographer. I'm not someone that is used to sharing my work. I share other people's work and I do work behind the scenes for other people. And she was like, "Oh, I thought you were into fashion because your pictures are always perfect." I said, "Okay." And then she said, "Oh, I did not know you do content creation and branding." And someone told me that recently. But when I started posting about branding more consistently and content creation more consistently, people got to understand what I was doing. So although I had clarity about what I was doing, people did not have clarity about what I was doing. You want your content stands out when people are able to gain clarity about you and what you stand for and what you are doing from your page. I always say this with Instagram. Instagram is my favorite platform, so I'll keep referring to it. With Instagram, for example, your yes, with Instagram, for example, your content should your page should be like a magazine, not a catalog. A magazine gives you a little bit more than a catalog does. A magazine gives you value, it gives you the looks, it gives you content that you will love to save, it gives you a lot. While a catalog just says, this is the price of this, this is the price of this, this is the price of this. I was looking at a public personality's Instagram the other day, and I was like, this is just a photo album, it's not even a catalog. It was just, this is a picture of me with this person, this is a picture of me with this person. It sounds like the photo albums that you will get to see when you get to go to people's apartments and they just show you their photo albums. You want your page to do much more than that. You want it to be able to add value to people, establish you as a credible source of authority in your field. People will not know what you do until they look at your social media and see what you do. You need to be able to tell your story on your own terms. That's important. Very, 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 very important. You should have clarity and they should have clarity. So now if someone goes to my page with what I've been doing with DIY branding and content creation, at a glance they can tell, oh, she's a podcaster, she does content creation series, she does DIY branding. Fantastic. I'm not saying don't share personal pictures. Of course, share your personality and we will get to that. But let people have clarity about what you are doing by just looking. That's why I put the glasses. I'm like, if they should wear the glasses, they should see clearly what you're doing, even without the glasses. And then we talk about your brand. Your brand must be consistent. You must have your brand message and everything you need. The last one is your message and your audience. Your content stands out if you're speaking to the right people. It stands out for the right people, not for every other person. So, if I am talking to virtual assistants, for example, the way I will speak with them will be different from the way some for like I will speak to the vision board crew. So people that are vision oriented, and so it's different way from the way that Zoe will speak to people that are wedding MCs or people that she wants to help MC their weddings. When you identified your audience determine your message. Your message that you are sharing on social media is not dependent on your brand. Okay, I'll say it this way: it's not completely dependent on your brand. However, it's determined by your brand, but most importantly by your audience. Who are they? What do they want? And next week we're going to go deep into audience to understand who we are posting for. If you don't know who you are posting for, then you don't know the message to give to them. And the truth is, when you narrow your niche, you broaden your audience. So don't think by narrowing down who I am and defining who you're speaking to will make you speak to less people. No, you will speak to the right people that need to listen to you. Now let's go over to the comments. Oh, Falakemi, hello. She said consistency is key. Zoe says social media content is on your terms. Exactly. Social media content is on your terms, no one else's terms. She said, that's true. I never thought of my pattern. I actually look at the feed first when I land on a new page. Yes, that's from Falakemi. I also look at the feed first. Then I look at the value that you are giving me, because the feeds design stops them, value keeps them. Some people are just like, oh, you have a wonderful aesthetic. I love it. But I can't see any value you're giving to me. Some people I'm like, oh, this is nice. Okay. I'm making comments. I'm not just going to say, oh, you have a nice picture. If there's nothing valuable for me to comment on, I'm not going to tell you you have a nice picture only, unless I actually love the picture and you are a photographer and I'm like looking at your plants. There's something that will capture my attention in your picture. But we want to do more than that. We want people to stay with us, connect with us, and then turn them to loyalists. On Instagram, the next thing I look at is substance of value. That's by Folakemi. Yes, we should look for substance. So if you're looking for substance, you should give substance. And my wonderful Zoe said, design makes them stop, value makes them say. DSDV. I think I'm going to steal that from you and create a. Black Academy already knows that I'm going to create a graphic with that. DSDV. Awesome. So we've talked about what makes your content stand out. And we are going to go to the next part, which is at the end of the day, what are we going to post this week? Like I said, we're keeping the sessions short so we can all gain something from it, and then it's easy for us to apply. All right, so what then should we share online? So people say, should I separate my personal brand from my business brand? Yes and no. If your personal brand is you, and your business is also dependent on you, then to a large extent you can merge them. If it's different and you have a team working with you, then you can decide to separate it and create a different path. But then you have to determine what you're going to post on both. But for today, we're just going to be talking about what you're going to post on either your personal brand or your business brand. This I will explain. If it's a personal brand, I'll tell you what to do. If it's a business brand, I'll tell you what to do. But before I do that, let me hear from you. Is anyone creating for a personal brand or a business brand or both? So we can have a conversation on that. If you, what do you want? What page? Because we're going to do the power of one this week. It's something I talk about all the time. Now with the power of one, we're going to focus on one page. I'd not say one goal this time. One page for the week, and see what difference we will make. We're not going to do the number game. We're just going to see what happens when you are consistent. So my goal with this is to see what happens when I turn up every day for 1 week, posting consistently about myself, my values, and what I cherish. So what to share online is to get people to know you. That's what we're doing this week. You've had an Instagram page, wonderful, but people don't really know you. How can they get to know Olabisi and connect with her? Remember, you're trying to build the know, like, trust factor. To build a know, like, trust factor, people have to know you first, and they don't know you if you don't tell them about you. So before we even get to like and trust, how can we get people to know you? And that's about what to share online. So I said the best place to start is time to start is now. If you're not posting, start posting. Start posting now. Do not wait for the perfect time. It will not come. So if you're saying, oh, as a perfectionist, I will start posting later. No, that's not what we want. You are going to start posting from this week. Should we make it Sunday or Monday? Let's have it's very a democratic nation. So let's see. DIY branding is democratic. So should we vote Monday or Sunday? Which one would you like, ladies and gentlemen, like to start with? Let me know if you want Monday or if you want Sunday, then we will decide. But we are starting all the same. Share what you're passionate about. If you're not sure what to talk about the things that you are passionate about. Like I said, I started talking about my faith. Then I started talking about planners. I started talking about goals. Those were things I was passionate about. I was really passionate about goal setting, planning, productivity, getting things done. In fact, 90% of the books on my bookshelf before I joined the book club were on productivity and getting things done. I just loved those topics. And the people I was drawn to were also talking consistently about it. So share what you are passionate about. What are you passionate about right now? If you do that, the next thing you can share is your experience. Share your experience even if you are new. Talk about your success, your failures, and everything in between. The ones that were the journey you're still on, we're going to share about that. Document your journey. You do not need to know everything, but what you know is enough. So we're sharing about our passions and we're sharing about our experience. And do not stop. So for the days that you are committing to this, there is no pausing. Some days you can post once because I'm giving you a 9 grid. Some days you can post twice. Your commitment is this. There is no pausing. You're not going to stop. You're going to continue posting. No disappearing act or ghosting. Show up for your brand. What happens if you show up for your brand every day consistently without missing a bit? That's the power of one, focusing on one aspect of your brand, and that's your Instagram page. Let's build one platform at a time. It's good to talk about all the other platforms, but we can't merge all the platforms together. Although when we talk about your audience and other things, your audience doesn't change. But when we talk about posting, it's great we start small. If we try to hit two targets at the same time, we're not going to meet anyone. Oh, Zoe said we should start today. Awesome. I like that spirit. For Akemi and BC, are you people on board? We'll plan today, then we implement tomorrow. So that's perfect. So, no, but no ghosting, no disappearing act. I did a disappearing act on one of my pages. Create with words. I think I've disappeared for 2 years on that page. I need to go there and be a bit more active. So I may pick create with words to share things about me and what I believe in and things like that. But no disappearing act at all, at all, at all. Disappearance is not permitted in this dispensation. All right, now I'm going to give you a 9 grid post prompts. 9 grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do with it what you want to do, but this is our task for the week. I wanted to make it more, but I was like, okay, 9 is it's good enough for us to achieve before we meet next week Saturday. Our meeting next week Saturday at 4 p.m. So your 9 grid. The first picture is so what you're going to do today is we plan before we implement. So, and if anybody is willing to plan, I'm willing to spend a couple of minutes planning with the person. But I will just give myself as an example. The first picture, I will introduce myself. So I will reintroduce myself to everyone tomorrow morning and tell them who I am and a few facts about me, just to introduce myself to people that just started following me. So the first post is a reintroduction, because you might assume everybody knows you, but some people don't. They go through your page for a long time and you've not reintroduced yourself in a while. Let them know who is behind the page. Let them know who is behind Vision Clarity. Let them know who is behind smart passive income. Let them know who is behind this brand. Let them know what you are about. Let them know who this Zoe is. Let them know you. Picture, introduce yourself. Then the next thing is something a bit more exciting. You're going to share some of the best things you've read, watched, or listened to in the last year. I was going to say read only, and then I thought about it. Some of us have not read books in a year, so let's make it a little bit more interesting. Some of the things you've read, watched, or listened to in the last year. It could be a podcast you've read. It could be a book that you've read or listened to. It could be a movie that you've watched or a TV series. I definitely, of anybody that knows me knows I'm going to talk about Korean series or Umbrella Academy that I'm going to watch after today. That's how I'm relaxing today. I'm going to watch Umbrella Academy. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Umbrella Academy season 2. That's what I am sharing. Something that has close meaning to your heart. It could be your values, your passions. Share something that has close meaning to your heart, because we said this is a getting to know you. We are personalizing your brand. We are making it a bit more we are making people connect with you more. We're not talking about promotions yet. Week 1 is a get to know you. Let them know who you are, what your brand stands for. So share something that has close meaning to your heart. I could talk about productivity. Yes, you can do this on a brand page, Grace. You could talk about the person behind Towards More, or what Towards More is about. What are some of the best things you've read, watched, or listened to? You could share the songs that people have shared. Remember when we did that, what worship means to me? What something that has close meaning to your heart? Something that has close meaning to your heart is about worship. So share about worship on that day. Share a personal goal you want to accomplish as an organization. What goal do you want to accomplish? For Towards More, you want to make people understand the true act of worship or something like that. So you could share that. Share a simple act. A simple act could be not necessarily based on prayer. God could be based on worship. Sorry, my hair is flying everywhere with the fan. So it could be based on worship, it could be based on prayer, it could be based about being intentional. It's something that you could share. You could share your logo with introduce yourself. I We're towards more where okay, so everybody that's speaking, I know them. That's why I'm speaking about their brands personally. So you could be like, we're towards more, we're a bunch of worship leaders or worship lovers that come together to worship God and remember the true art of worship. We do this because we believe that as Christians, we should. You can share that. Picture a place that inspires you. You could just share a place that inspires you. It should be a present. It should be a stage presence of someone that has done something, a worship experience that you liked. Share your biggest success. For that one, being able to host your first live event can be done. A picture could be, like I said, a picture could be of you, of something you love. You don't if your brand is faceless for now, you can keep it faceless but still spark curiosity in people to make them know that there is something we are about. That's what you're trying to do. Create with what is practically okay, it's not really faceless, but create with what is was practically faceless. DIY branding is practically faceless. I can decide to share. Why do I want people to do it themselves? Have you not wondered why did I call it DIY branding? I called it DIY branding because most DIY entrepreneurs, which is what I refer to everyone that is listening to as, are people that have to do it themselves. So if they do not know the right things to do, they do not know what to do. So that's why I call it DIY entrepreneur. Then share something you love or hate about Instagram. And this one, everybody, I can't wait to see what you're going to share because we're going to read it. Share what you love or hate about Instagram, since that's the platform that we are starting with. I love Instagram. I cannot even deny that. I live and thrive on Instagram. I try going to other platforms sometimes, but my heart is still with Instagram. I keep coming back to it. So this is just a 9 grid post for us. Does anybody else want me to use their brand as an example, or does everybody understand the task for the week? Okay, so the task is to where you say she gets the DIY branding. Yes, it's about doing it yourself. The task, that's why DIY branding is different from virtual assistants. So I have something else called virtual assistants where I coach virtual assistants themselves. But DIY branding, virtual assistants can be exactly. The virtual assistant can be part of DIY branding. For like Emi says, Diary of a Niger Girl is faceless, but people respond with the host and they just love her. Yes, that's it. So your personality can shine through. Be yourself. Be something. Just be yourself. But remember, we talked about doing it on your own terms. You're doing it on your own terms. Only let out information that you want to. I won't. You can share your Bible study setup. You could share, oh, I'm working on mentoring with the girls. You could share whatever you're doing. So we have an hashtag for the week, and it's SCC 9 grade. That's what we're using. But your task is simply this: plan your post in advance. So that's why I said, do you people need the whole of Sunday to plan your post and we start posting on Monday? Or do you need the rest of today to plan your post and we start posting tomorrow? I will let you people decide before I get to the last slide. But Smart Content Creation 9 grade, SCC. I'm going to call it SCCT 9 grade. So Smart Content Creation T 9 grade. But I decided to go with SCC 9 grade. And tag me in your post when you do it. You're going to tag me in your post so it appears on my feed and I can come and give feedback. Do not worry about your captions. Do not worry about your hashtags. We are just showing up posting for now. And your brand doesn't grow overnight, but I wanted you to have something to say. I did a task for a week consistently for my brand. So we are showing up for our brands consistently every day. You can decide, since it's a 9 grade, you can decide, yeah, Zoe said, let's do this. I like the spirit. You can decide to post twice a day, but I know that by Saturday morning, when I'm doing my review, I want to see your 9 grade that is popping. Don't think about doing it perfectly, do it. Don't think about doing it perfectly, do it. Just do it. Be confident in yourself. See, listen, I always talk about task and facts. Does everybody understand the task um that we have for the week? So I know you understand it because you've been here from the beginning and you said let's do this. And so Zoe will be running points on this and ensuring that everybody is posting. Please put your Instagram handles in the comments so we can follow each other and support each other on this journey. If you share your Instagram handles, we can all support each other. Do not forget the hashtag. Take a screenshot now and share on your stories with the task. So I'm going to smile while you all take your screenshots. Hope my smile is not too big. So take your screenshot. Did you take your screenshots? I hope you all got my beautiful smile. Take your screenshots, share on your stories with our hashtag. All right, I will explain the task again. But take your screenshots, share it on your stories with the hashtag SCC9grade. So we remember that, yes, this is the task that we are doing for the week. You can put an highlight for your task, your DIY branding task on your stories also, so that all your highlights are together. So Amaka, the task is this. Yes, we're posting 9 times this week. You're doing 9 posts this week that will cover these 9 things. So we are looking at the first one is introducing yourself. What are some of the best things you have read, watched, listened to in the last year? Share something that has close meaning to your heart. So these are the 9 posts you are creating for the week. What I want you to do is use tomorrow to plan this post. You're not going to wait till Monday to start planning. If you plan it in advance, you already know this is a picture I'm using for pictures. Okay, there are 3 pictures. This is a picture I'm using of a place that for myself. This is a picture I'm using for a place that inspires me, and this is my picture, my random picture that I will use of my workspace, of a book I'm reading. Of the last picture I'm making you decide the last picture. So if you plan the pictures that way, you know that what are some of my best things to watch. You can do other 9 other posts for all of you that are already have your own brand. Yes, you can do other posts, but these are just tips for people that are starting off. So yes, you can do other posts, but I want you all to do the introduce yourself. I want you to do the introduction of yourself, because these are things that get people to know you, because you still have your promotion, so you can do other posts along with this 9 grade, but these are things that get people to know who you are. So in addition to the 9 grade, the way I will know that you've done this 9 grade is that you're going to use your hashtag. Your other posts can come in because I know you have promotional posts and there are things that you're promoting, so your page cannot pause. So do this. Any more questions regarding this? No, we're putting 9 grade. We're not putting 9th. So it's just SCC 9 grade. SCC 9 grade. Hashtag SCC 9 grade. Because this today was just simple content creation tips. And the aim was to get people to know you. So we're all going to follow each other. Yes. Keep tabs on your friends. So when someone does their own post, you go and comment on them and give them a thumbs up. Let's encourage each other. See, the life of a solopreneur can be lonely. You put a post, nobody comments. You want to lose this thing. Help your sister, help your brother, and make a comment. Don't just scroll past. Encourage people when they're doing something. Let's practice active engagement. Engagement is a topic on its own, but let's practice active engagement with others. Follow each other, tag each other on your post. When you do your post, we are just a few here, we can achieve this. And then I will tag everybody on one post if you tag me. So I will say, okay, these are all people that are following the SCC 9 grade. So it makes it simple. Yes, towards more. Timei, do you understand now, or do you want me to go through this? If anybody has any questions, I will have a office hour. I will let you guys know when I'm going to have an office hour. It's just going to be an hour, so that period you can come into the we'll do it in the virtual assistant group or on Zoom, where you can ask your questions. I'll do it just for an hour this week. It's something I want to introduce where I can speak to people and help people rather than doing it individually. It's just going to be an office hour, 1 hour, a question, and that's going to be questions and answers, simple questions and answers that we can have about what we currently learn. Because if we do it midweek, like Wednesday or so, you will have been able to practice for a couple of days. You will have questions, we answer the questions, then we continue, we come back on Saturday. So does everybody like the idea of the office hour midweek, so that we can catch up and ensure that we are on track? Because if we wait till Saturday, then that's when you're not on track. It's just going to be taking us a step back. So let me know what you think about the office hour. Joe is my hashtag queen today. Thank you so much. So she has put the hashtag for us. So I'll repeat the task. Plan your post in advance. Use tomorrow to plan your 9 posts. If you're doing more than 9 posts, use tomorrow to plan your post. Plan in advance. Don't wait till the morning of to do your planning. You can plan your post tonight, immediately after this call. Just plan your 9 grid quickly and get it done with, because you already have this. I'm going to send you I will share this link so that everybody has access to this Canva link and they can easily just follow the 9 grid. But like I said, take screenshots in places that you need, and this is the task for the week. Create content with the 9 grid and start posting on Monday. Start posting on Monday. Remember, the time to start is now. We have been working on other people's brands, especially Timei. She's building other people's brands. I'm looking at her like this. She is building other people's brands. She needs to build her own brand. Office hour would be great. I think we should have an office hour. But yes, it's something I'm looking to start. I might not do it every week, but I'm looking at Wednesdays. We'll look at a time that will work for everybody. So I'll make it flexible. I will give you people a couple of hour slots, and then you pick the one that Wednesday is my day off. BC, you do not remind me that Wednesday is my day off. Wednesday is my day off. I forgot. Wednesday and Thursdays are my half days. Don't worry, we'll come up with something, I'm sure. We'll definitely come up with something. But yeah, office hours would be great. We'll plan it in advance, and then we come and answer questions, fill our grids if our grids are not full completely. So if we say today is Saturday, we can have the office hour on Tuesday. Since Wednesday I'm not available, we have the office hour on Tuesday, and then we create content together. All right. Just a reminder about the facts that we talked about. Content is within you. The best place to searching for content is within you. You need to stop assuming that your followers know who you are. Tell them what makes you different. No one starts perfectly. Task is for you to start now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start now. Okay. Yes, we can use the grid flexibly. So what are we looking up forward to? It is 4 more weeks. Week 2, who are you posting for? We're going to define your audience, your brand, and then we'll define your content specifically. Week 3, what to post. So we'll talk about signature content for your brand specifically. Week 4 is generic. Where do we find content? So I'll be sharing places I find content when it comes to content creation. And week 5, we're going to create our editorial calendar for September to December. That sounds perfect. So that we start the Ember month strong. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. All right, so I've come to the end of today's training with 4 more minutes. Whoa, we did well. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The content creation series is just focused on content creation. Pick the brand you want to work on. If you already have your 9 grid, post regularly, but infuse these ideas into what you're posting already, so that people can get to know you and know what you stand for. This is a get to know me week. Let them know us, because I will also be doing this If I don't do it, call me because I already have my grid. So I'm going to do it in a way, even if I'm saying there's 9 post ideas, I'm going to do it in a way that I maintain my straight line grid and have the flexibility because I've decided to go for a, I'm sure you've noticed, a minimalistic feed for my brand. And that's what I am going for right now. All right, so I've got 5 minutes left to answer your questions if you have any questions. Everybody understands everything. This is wonderful. Don't forget to take your screenshots and post on Instagram stories. Yes, let's make use of Instagram stories. I think we should take advantage of that platform. Let's make use of our stories. All right. Thank you so much everybody for joining me today. Honestly, this is a good place to start. I don't want to I wanted you to do something this week. So show up every day, and if you need guidance, use the 9 grid. Let's do it that way. Show up every day, and if you need guidance, use the 9 grid or use the hashtag that was given earlier. And I bid you goodbye since no one has questions. The replay will be available immediately since we had no difficulty. So you could go back and listen to it while you're creating your 9 grid because I gave examples of what you can do. We'll have our office hours on Tuesday. Um, it's going to be most likely Tuesday evening, if that's okay with everyone, from 7 to 8 p.m. How does that sound? 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening. Timei, please, you're going to do the reminder for that for everyone. Then next week we're going to, at the end of this session, we're going to have a DIY branding Facebook group at the end of this series completely. I want us to go in at the end of the series. So thank you so much everyone for joining. I had a wonderful time. You made it very easy. Should we do a last screenshot before I go? Everybody has their screenshots. All right, I'm going to smile. For those of you that didn't get your screenshot before, take a screenshot and I will see you next week on Tuesday. All right, bye everyone.